The world is loud and the crowd always seems to have an opinion. It's easy to give in, easy to get caught up in what everyone else is doing and thinking or not thinking. But the crowd rarely leads to Christ. His way is narrow. His way requires us to remain strong, even when tested by the crowd. The world thinks of power as action. Power gives the means of control. Powerful people are able to take charge, able to change things. But Jesus blessed the meek, the hungry, and the poor. He blessed people who, by the world's standard, have no power at all. There is a power this world overlooks. Jesus offered a new kind of power. There is power in standing firm by faith. Christians have long stood their ground, not to gain the world's power, but as witness to a better world to come. So we stand strong, stand committed, and we bear witness to the world around us. The Roman governor Pilate was a complicated figure. He was Roman and trained in the military and political tactics of Rome, but he had been sent to govern the province of Judea, a land marked with political and religious tensions. He was a Roman in a not very Roman place, and historians tell us that his tactics were often brutal and destabilizing. But Pilate remained in power by keeping the peace. When the crowds brought Jesus to Pilate's doorstep, he was probably trying to find a way to diffuse the escalating situation. Pilate famously summed up his philosophy of life by asking Jesus, "What is truth?" He was not a man of principles, but of practicality. His job was to keep things from getting out of hand. Though he seemed somewhat reluctant to do so, Pilate handed Jesus over to be crucified because of the crowd's demands. They stood in the streets chanting, "Crucify him." Pilate gave in. His political calculations told him that it was better to appease the people than to oppose them. The world is so often like that, and there is always a crowd. Crowds in the workplace, crowds in the neighborhood, crowds of online opinions and mob anger. You certainly have experienced the pressure to conform. But Jesus was never like that. Jesus certainly knew crowds. He was constantly finding himself before the crowd. But he didn't act or speak based on public opinion or social pressure. Jesus often challenged the crowd. He walked away from the situation when they wanted to crown him king. He held his tongue at times when they called for his death. He gave his life as the crowd demanded that Pilate crucify him. Jesus was constantly before the crowd, but he wasn't controlled by it. Though few recognized it, there was something in Jesus stronger than was in Pilate. Where Pilate caved to pressure, Jesus again and again remained strong. I think what Jesus possessed was truth, but not as a fact, as a conviction. Jesus possessed something which made him strong and freed him from the need of people's approval. He was willing to die for that truth. We each need that. We need a faith that is real enough to free us, convictions we can stand on. We need a relationship with Christ so life-giving that not even the threat of death can make us turn loose of it. We are not like those bullied or coerced into joining the crowd's way. We are not tossed around or threatened. We have Jesus. We have everything. We have access to real inner strength because of what we have in him. But you must remember these truths. Don't be intimidated. Don't be afraid. As the Apostle John explained it, the Spirit who lives in you is greater than the spirit who lives in the world. Do you have that kind of conviction? Are you able to stand for what you believe in? When the world comes with its tactics and pressure, how do you remain strong?